Hey everybody, Kyle Goth here from GoatFilmReviews.com and the Goat Film Reviews YouTube channel with my quick first reaction to the 2023 film Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm a bit late in catching this one. As you've noted, if you watched a bunch of my other first reactions, there's a bunch of movies that came out earlier this year that I just missed in theaters. A lot of house issues, a lot of personal stuff going on that just kind of kept me out of the theater, which is too bad because when I'm going through stuff or when I'm really busy, the movie theater is my place of zen. And I didn't get that for a little while this year. So I finally got a chance to check out Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I watched it in anticipation of going to see The Flash a little later. So I wanted to... I haven't been fully 100% caught up on DCEU in like 2 years. I've always been like one movie behind, it seemed like. So finally saw this movie. And full disclosure, Shazam is either my number one or number two favorite film in the DCEU. I loved that first movie. The second one is a noticeable drop in quality, and I got to say I was pretty disappointed. I've heard not great things about it from a number of people, so I kind of felt like I could expect that. A lot of things that got spoiled, not even by people who saw the movie, but by the marketing for the movie. And this was a case where the marketing showed the entire movie, it seemed like. And I don't even watch trailers that often. I only watch the ones that get forced in front of my eyes when I go to the cinema. And so I was pretty disappointed by certain elements of the film. Starting off, I guess, Zachary Levi and Asher Angel return as Billy Batson and Shazam, the superhero version of Billy. And I gotta see, it feels like they're not in sync in this movie. I feel like in the first movie, there was a synchronicity to what they were doing. I felt like Zachary Levi's performance was always that big, bombastic, bold, but kind of felt like the movie Big, with Tom Hanks, where he was playing a child in a man's body, a child in a superhero's body in this case. And this is one where I think Zachary Levi is still playing to Shazam 1, Billy Batson. But it's been 4 years. Billy is almost 18. And I think there was a real missed opportunity to showcase Zachary Levi dealing with, like, puberty or asking someone to the dance or, some of those things that happen as you turn 18 or failing to get into college and seeing how, like, this giant superhero version of the kid would have reacted to that. And instead, Levi's performance is kind of playing Shazam 1. And we're not there anymore. We learned a lot of lessons in the first film. We've evolved as characters. So that was a bit of a missed opportunity. I also felt like Asher Angel's complete lack of screen time in this film did contribute to that as well, because I didn't see how he's aged in the 4 years. He's got maybe like 5 to 10 minutes of screen time in the whole movie. Most of the Shazamily spend time in the film in their superhero forms. So we don't get to see that kind of connection that they had with their regular kid versions. And that's a bit disappointing because I think that's where the first movie really succeeded. You got your two villains here. Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu play daughters of Atlas, I believe, who come to get their staff, the one that we saw with Shazam's staff that Dr. Sivana got a hold of in the first film. They're coming to get their powers back, the ones that were taken from them by the wizard. And it's hard to classify maybe how one note those two villains are in the film. And you have Lucy Liu and you have Helen Mirren, both actresses capable of doing a lot more than what they were. And they don't really do anything. And not to mention, there's also the, when I took a screenwriting class, I took a couple screenwriting classes in college, and one of them asked, why is your movie taking place now? Like, what is the trigger moment for now? And at one point, I think they mentioned it's been 4 years. Another point, I think they mentioned it's been 2. But time has passed since Shazam #1, where we get the explanation that Billy breaks the staff in half and throws them into the garbage. But it takes 2 years for our villains, at minimum 2 years for them to find the staff they're looking for. And I'm wondering, what were they waiting for? Or better yet, why didn't they go get it when Dr. Zavana had it? Because he was a super-powered villain. But, I'm just wondering, what is it about right now that's missing in that character? It's a small thing, but these small things add up, and they do take you out of the film. And I felt like there was just this kind of disconnect with what really worked in that first film. I don't think the comedy landed very well in the film. I just didn't feel that emotional resonance with any of the characters in the way that I did with that first film. That first film is very much about family. And the irony, of course, is that the first film is about this family of interconnected people who are not related by blood, but related by love. And related by that ideal that they are connected to one another through their experiences. And the irony of it is that you have Chris Morgan, who wrote like 6 Fast and the Furious movies, co-writing this screenplay, and it doesn't feel like family at all. Although you do have the Chris Morgan who did really great over-the-top work in Fast and the Furious, maybe go a little too over-the-top with the set pieces of this film. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that I swear I couldn't really, within an hour of seeing the film, I probably couldn't describe. And that's kind of the frustrating thing, is it's not that the movie is awful. It's just disappointing, and it's boring. Now, it's a step up from Black Adam, because I feel like there are more things that work in this film than what Black Adam had, but I feel like there's just a lot of missed opportunities, and it just was so disappointing as a fan of that first film to see this one just not really working the way it should have. And I think there was just missed opportunities in the screenplay, missed opportunities in some of the performances, in kind of mishandling the passage of time, because it feels like our characters are back to square one at the beginning of the first Shazam when they've had that whole first movie to develop. And this is another case where I really think it would have been better if Shazam had been introduced, had intermingled into the Black Adam of it all. Why wasn't Black Adam connected to the first Shazam, and why wasn't Shazam 2 connected to Black Adam? There's that noticeable, like, why is Djimon Hounsou the only connective tissue between those movies? You have an opportunity for basically a trilogy of interesting films, and they feel disconnected, and it's frustrating because there's just missed opportunities there. And I can see why this movie didn't make a lot of money. I can see why this movie probably won't be part of the DCU when it resets. There's the idea of James Gunn just kind of said, like, Blue Beetle will probably be the first character who moves into the DCU, even though Superman Legacy is the first actual, DCU film. Does that make sense? Shazam probably won't be brought in that iteration. And it's like, yeah, because this movie didn't really work. And it's frustrating because I really like David F. Sandberg, and I don't want to crap on his parade, but the movie just did not work that well for me. And there's some things that I thought were great, and there's some things that weren't. And that's disappointing. But what did you think about Shazam! Fury of the Gods? Give me your DCEU ranking down below in the comments section and let me know what you thought about the film. And do you think Shazam should move over to the DCU, or would you like to see a different iteration of the character? Leave those thoughts down below. While you're down there, please like and subscribe. There are 2 free things you can do that help support the channel, and you never miss new episodes of the show as they drop. Also, check out GoatFilmReviews.com for my written reviews. Check out Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can also find me at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can also check out my show, Kyle and Nick on Film, that I co-host with Nick Plotchuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes every single week. All those links are down in the description, and we'll see you next time.